Most people, they struggle and they have this idea or this concept that the problem is their income or the amount of money that they make. When the reality is, it has nothing to do with the amount of money you make. The problem is that you continue to trade long-term peace for short-term pleasures. And you do this because you have this idea or this thought that it's okay to have your impulsiveness in regards to constantly swiping your credit card or utilizing your credit card to live for today versus worrying about your future. What's going on, everyone? So real quick, just wanted to jump on real quick and share this thought I had. I'm actually just leaving in the gym, and while I was at the gym, I had something hit me pretty hard. Most people, they struggle with how you live or how you operate or how your thought process is. I guarantee you struggle with needs versus wants. And what I mean by that is there's a difference between needs and wants. All right, real quick, it's basically for survival. All right, so different things that you would need for survival may be things like food, water, shelter, sleep, clothing, medicine. Those are things that you need to survive. All right. Things that you want are fancy cars, expensive clothes, big houses, luxury vacations, restaurants. Those are wants. Most people, they struggle with this thought or this concept, and it keeps them in debt. My advice for you is you have to get out of this mindset or this idea that I can have both my needs and my wants. If you're somebody who's truly trying to get out of debt, all you can focus on or all you need to focus on at this time in your life is what do you truly need? You got to stop focusing on what do you want, because if you continue to focus on, oh, I want this, your impulsiveness, your desire for this is going to basically take control of you. And what I mean is going to take control of you. You're going to see this thing, you're going to desire it, you're going to not need it, but you're going to want it. So you're going to end up having that impulsiveness and you're going to utilize your credit card to pay for it. Because the reality is, if you're somebody who's watching this video and you're in that situation or that current state, the reality is you likely have debt. And because you have debt, you're not in the state to where you need to purchase these. The only thing that you should be purchasing if you have debt, consumer debt, meaning a car note, student loans, credit cards, personal loans, buy here, pay here's, any type of debt that you have, the only thing that you should be focused on are your needs. All right. Again, your needs is your shelter. You got to have a place to live. You got to have a roof over your head. That way you can get sleep at night. All right. You got to have food. That way you can eat. That way you have energy. All right. You got to have clothes. That way you can wear to go to work. That doesn't mean that you have to have fancy clothes. You may be in this season in your life where you have to shop at Goodwill. There is nothing wrong with shopping at Goodwill when you're in a situation for survival. All right. This is what you need. You need clothes to wear to go out and about, find a job, operating your job to where you can pay off your debt. Once you get out of that state of needs, then you can focus on wants. But likely you're in that state of needs, and that's what you need to focus on. Doing the bare minimum, the roof over your head, like I said, the food, the clothes on your back, and then focus on paying off your debt. When you've done with paying off your debt, then you can start shifting. I struggle with it because obviously you all know that I'm a sneakerhead. I talk about sneakers all the time, or I don't talk about sneakers, but I show different sneakers all the time. I struggle with it in regards to, I would see a pair of sneakers I liked that I wanted, and it came from being on social media, and I would end up purchasing those sneakers. But the problem was I had this debt and I was purchasing these sneakers with my charge card or my credit card. And when I would make this purchase, I would have the thought that, oh, it's only $250. I can pay it off quickly. I'll pay it off when I get paid. But what happens is when your pay comes, what you're focused on at that moment in time isn't that pair of sneakers that you bought. What you end up focused on is you're focused on your bills that are coming out, the bills that you have to pay. You're focused on, if it's the first of the month, you're focused on your rent or your mortgage. All right. You're focused on your car payment. You're focused on your utility bills. You're focused on the different subscriptions or whatever you may have. That's what you're focused on, making sure that gets paid first. And what happens, because you're focused on ensuring that stuff get paid first, or that's what I was focused on, making sure that stuff gets paid first, then the charge or the bill that I had for my credit card, I wouldn't pay the whole $250 off because I needed money to get through the week. An emergency might happen. So I can't pay this $250 right now. I need to be able to save most of it. So what would happen? I would pay, the minimum payment may be $25 or maybe $40. And I would make that minimum payment. And then the next paycheck comes around and your next set of bills have come about. And what you end up doing is you end up paying your bills and then you pay another minimal payment. All right. That, again, I'm saying you all, but I'm talking about myself. I'm telling on myself first. Right. I'm not going to tell you something or have you do something that I haven't personally done. So I would fall into this trap of just paying minimum payments on my credit cards because I had all these other bills I had to pay. I had my student loans, my personal loans, like I said, my car note. I got to make sure all of this is paid because that's a set monthly payment. So my credit cards, which the crazy thing is the credit cards have the highest interest rates, they would only get the minimum payment. What I ended up noticing and seeing, by me only paying the minimum payments on my credit cards, I was collecting more debt. And what I mean by collecting more debt, the interest was building up. All right, that 29% credit card, that interest would build up. There was this time where I looked at a credit card bill. I had a high balance on my credit card. At one point, I owed $20,000 on a credit card, just being honest. And I'm making this monthly minimum payment of $300. One day I decided to really look at it. When I looked at and when I say look at it, I'm talking about look at my monthly payment and look at my statement. When I looked at my statement, something that I ended up noticing was I made my $300 minimum payment, but the interest that I ended up paying on this charge card was $250. Again, when you're finally looking at it and you see it in plain sight, your brain starts shifting when you finally get to that point of enough is enough. What I started realizing was me making a minimum payment of $300 and being charged $250 in interest every month. I was only paying $50 a month towards that credit card because the interest was constantly going. In one of my previous videos, I shared how when I looked at my interest for all of my debt I had, I was basically paying $1,500 a month just in interest, which ended up totaling $18,000 a year in interest, me just paying to the creditors. The reason I share with you all that is because, again, you have to understand and you got to get control of my needs versus my wants. If it's something that you want, I can promise you, you may want it right now, but eventually that desire for that thing, it's not even going to be there anymore. I did something or I tried something to see my emotions, to challenge my emotions. There was this pair of shoes I wanted, and I wanted them this year. Like, this is recent, like in the last maybe 6 or 7 months. But 6-7 months ago, there was this pair of sneakers I wanted. I wanted them, no, it was February. I wanted this pair of sneakers badly. And the pair of sneakers came out and they were $200 when they came out. I didn't get them when they came out. Eventually, the price went up. The resale price went up to $500. I still wanted this pair of sneakers, and I was willing to pay $500 for them. But as I sat back and I started thinking, and my focus and my desire and my determination changed to, I want to get out of debt, that desire for that pair of sneakers went away. That impulsiveness, it was gone. All right. And that's what I would challenge you all on, is really understand your needs versus your wants. Most of the stuff that you're thinking that you need, you may not actually need it. It may just be this pleasure or this desire you have, and it really falls into your want category. All right. A certain car. You don't need a luxury car. In one of my previous videos, I talked about that. My little brother asking me if he should purchase a Mercedes, a BMW, or something like that. And my response to him immediately was no, because I know his current debt situation. It would be smarter for him to come out of debt and then go back and purchase this vehicle when he's in a better position, in a better place in life. So my goal is to make sure that I am as candid, transparent, honest as possible with you all moving forward about my current situation. And I'm honest with you all on my videos, but I want to be able to remove the layers of this whole polished image that everybody tries to portray on YouTube, that I'm just doing real good. Yeah, I'm doing better than I was yesterday. I'm in a better place today than I was at the beginning of this year. I was well over $100,000 in debt, and that's with my mortgage. Current day, I'm almost done with the exception of the mortgage. My goal is to be able to look and say, in the 12-month period that I got serious about debt, I was able to eliminate it all with the exception of the mortgage. All right. So if this video touched you, if this video made you, definitely make sure that you comment that you're locked in to achieve your goal of being debt free. But make sure you share this video with somebody, because I think that as people, as millennials, we need to really focus on our tomorrow, right? We're not young anymore. We're not in our 20s anymore. Most of millennials, we're in our 30s, our early 40s. So we need to really start thinking about our future. And the best way to start thinking about our future and about your future is by getting out of debt. So definitely make sure you lock in with the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, and definitely make sure you check out this video, because on this video, I talk about how I was $18,000 in the hole every year by paying interest to different providers. And when I say providers, I'm talking about the credit card companies, the Wells Fargos, the American Express, the Chase, all of the big providers. But with that being said, catch you on the flip side. Later.